The Honda Pilot Touring is probably where the new Pilot lineup starts making the most sense. Not because it's one of the most expensive ones, and not because it tries to imitate a luxury SUV. It's because this is the trim where Honda finally brings together the comfort, practicality, and technology most families actually use. And for 2026, it quietly got much more interesting. The redesign is the first thing that stands out. The new Pilot looks taller, more upright, and more confident than before. The front end has a stronger, truck-like presence now, with a larger grille and a more vertical nose. It no longer feels like Honda was trying to soften it into a large crossover. It finally looks like what it is, a true 3-row midsize SUV. The Touring keeps a clean, upscale appearance without overdoing anything. Chrome accents are still present, and the new wheel design gives the 2026 model a fresher, more modern look. Honda also now offers machined matte black 20-inch wheels as an accessory, and there's one important change. All-wheel drive is now standard. The two-wheel drive option is gone. Honda also retired Obsidian Blue Pearl and replaced it with the new Smoke Blue Pearl. And for buyers who want a slightly more rugged look without jumping into a trail sport, Honda now also offers a roof platform accessory that actually complements the Pilot's boxier design surprisingly well, while adding some real practicality too. And one of the nicer upgrades inside is the dark brown interior color that used to be reserved for the Elite. Personally, I think it makes the cabin feel much richer and more upscale, especially combined with the panoramic moonroof. What do you think about this interior color? The only thing still missing here is the perforated leather seating, which remains reserved for the higher trims. Under the hood, Honda kept the same formula, and that's not a bad thing. The 3.5-liter V6 and 10-speed automatic remain, and it still feels smooth and easy to live with. There's enough power for merging, passing, or loading up the whole family without making the SUV feel stressed. It's not trying to impress you every time you press the gas. It just quietly does its job well. And honestly, that's probably exactly what most Pilot buyers want. The power delivery feels natural, the transmission stays out of the way, and the whole drivetrain has that mature, well-sorted character that makes long trips feel effortless rather than tiring. The convenience features were already strong here, and that continues. You still get front and rear parking sensors, smart entry on all 4 door handles, panoramic moonroof, and the hands-free power tailgate. If you've ever walked up carrying groceries, soccer gear, backpacks, and coffee at the same time, that kick-to-open tailgate suddenly makes perfect sense. Where the new Touring really separates itself is technology. This is the first Touring that genuinely feels built for 2026. The new 12.3-inch screen changes the whole cabin. It's not just larger, the software finally feels modern. Google built-in makes the system feel natural instead of separate. The Touring now gets not only the 10.2-inch fully digital instrument cluster that was reserved for the Elite last year, but it can also display the actual navigation map right inside the gauges, which is surprisingly helpful and something we'll talk more about in a bit, while the main screen handles music, apps, or something else entirely at the same time. The cluster itself is customizable too. Under Gauge Display Settings, you can switch between a few different layouts depending on how much information you want in front of you. Some feel cleaner and more minimal, while others prioritize driving data. And because Google Assistant is built in, using it feels much easier. You can ask for directions, weather, nearby gas, adjust the climate, or search places naturally. No robotic commands, just talk like you normally would. The app experience got much better too. Through the Google Play Store, you can now install apps directly into the Pilot. Some of the best ones include Spotify, Waze, Audible, HBO, Peacock, and Prime Video. One thing noticeably missing right now is SiriusXM. So if you use SiriusXM regularly, you'll still need to stream it through your phone. That'll probably disappoint some buyers, although there's always a chance Google adds it to the store later on. Honda also added something families will probably end up using more than they expect: video streaming apps. While the Pilot is parked, you can watch Peacock, Prime Video, Max, and more directly on the screen. And here's a neat little workaround for anyone used to Netflix. Even though there's no native Netflix app available in the store, if you install the Google Chrome browser, you can still watch your favorite Netflix shows right from the vehicle. And honestly, that makes perfect sense for how a lot of families actually use their vehicles now. Waiting during school pickup, sitting through soccer practice, or staying in the car while someone runs into a store suddenly feels a lot less boring. It turns the Pilot into a genuinely usable space instead of just a place to wait around, especially if you've got kids. And again, all of this only works while the vehicle is in park. The moment you shift out of it, any video content immediately pauses. And by the way, if you enjoy reviews that actually explain how these vehicles feel to live with long-term, not just read spec sheets, subscribe below. That's the whole idea behind this channel. Now, one of the biggest upgrades this year is the Trail Watch camera system. It sounds like a technical feature until you actually use it. The front camera can automatically pop up when you approach something, but the side views are what make it useful. You can see curbs, parking lines, bushes, or tight garage entrances much better. It makes a large SUV easier to place in real life, whether you're parallel parking or squeezing through a drive-thru. Honda even added a front camera washer. Hit the windshield washer, and the camera lens gets cleaned too. It sounds minor, but once winter salt or rain starts covering the lens, you'll appreciate it quickly. The Touring also finally gets power folding mirrors. Lock the Pilot and they fold. Unlock it and they open. Simple, but nice to finally have here. But the feature that probably changes daily ownership the most is driver profiles. And this system goes far beyond simply remembering your climate preferences, seat, and mirror positions. Each profile stores your favorite apps and their layout on the screen, radio presets, phone pairing, certain vehicle settings, and even login information. For example, when I log into my Google account and Audible app, all of that stays tied to my profile. Then when my wife switches over to hers, the whole setup changes with it. It even switches the instrument cluster back to my preferred layout exactly the way I left it. And even navigation picks up right where I left off the last time I used my profile. So instead of the SUV feeling the same for every driver, the entire environment adjusts itself around whoever just got in. Honda also gave you admin control inside profiles. You can manage permissions for app installs, calls, messages, and user access. If you have a teenage driver in the family, that suddenly becomes a lot more useful than it sounds. You can even pin lock the admin profile. The only thing I'd still like to see is a little more visual personalization, maybe profile colors or small avatars. The system already feels close to excellent. That would just make it easier to distinguish users quickly. And because the screen is now larger and supports more features, I'd also like to see a little better hand support under the display. That lower section feels empty, and it seems easy to scratch if you wear rings or jewelry. So here's the takeaway. The 2026 Touring no longer feels like the trim you buy simply because you didn't want the Elite. And more importantly, you no longer have to stretch all the way to the top trim just to get features like the 360 camera, power folding mirrors, or a richer interior color beyond black and gray. Instead, the Touring finally feels like the version where the Pilot reaches its smartest and most balanced form. For 2026, it starts at $52,790, including destination, mainly because all-wheel drive is now standard. Last year, all-wheel drive Touring was $51,095, and the two-wheel drive version was about $2,100 less. So yes, the price went up. The real question is whether the redesign, new tech, actually justify it. What do you think? Worth the extra money? Or would you stick with the previous model? Let me know in the comments below. And if you're trading in your older Pilot for this new one, make sure you don't miss some of the useful features your current SUV may already have before you hand over the keys. And if you'd like to learn some of the newest features on this 2026 Touring a little better, click on the Tips and Tricks episode right here on the screen.